welcome to the Bobby Freakout number 2, the vlog version. We are at the beach, Ricketts Point, if you're in Melbourne, Victoria area and are slightly interested. Tangled already. We have to be on lead here, so I'm not too happy about that. And we're going to try and find a cache whilst we're on our way to my friend's house to do some gardening. We're going to tire these guys out so that they sit in the car and have a nice time. This way, guys, come on. One thing I love about spaces like this is we're really in the heart of like pretty decent suburbia here. Dare I say it, rich suburbia. And yet there's a space like this where through the trees you can see the ocean, or the bay I should say, but there's really not much else that you can see around here, and I absolutely love it. So we're here at the park. It's very cold and it's quite windy, and I've just been disappointed by a expensive couple of bits of food, an egg and bacon roll and a Danish and a flavourless coffee. But I am quite pleased by this hat. I've worn it a bunch, and today it was raining a little bit and the hat did a perfect job of keeping the rain off my head or off my face. It's fantastic. Are you right there? I'm trying to film something. I love you too. She's been very, very affectionate today at the park for some reason. The main reason I wanted to film this was because I realised I needed a couple of incidentals in between segments of this episode. So now I'm going to say, here is Geocaching 16 part 2. Is it part 2 or part 3? It's going to be part 2. It's definitely going to be part 2. I had to think about it, but it's part 2. So here's part 2. From a time when it was sunny and warm on the beach, over 6 months ago now, I filmed that. So anyway, here it is. Are you right? I love you. So I hadn't read the description properly. What a classic. I do that every time. And it says this cache is a large white bucket. And just as I pressed record to go on the camera, I've seen that. Not sure if you can see it, but unfortunately that means stepping on all of this. Oh, I just broke some of it off because it's thingy. It's brittle. Oh, so now, this is one of the bigger caches that I've ever found. Because I'm such a urban cacher. That kind of annoys me. Noodle sauces. A knife sheath. Kind of like that, Lipton tea thing. And Boris and Natasha have been here. I feel like if I ever get the chance to meet Boris and Natasha, I feel like I'll already know them. And if I remember correctly, they're friends with my friend Harrison. And I wonder if they're friends... I think they're friends because of Harrison's dad being into caching and caching a lot. So, in I don't know whether it was a proper video or a little social media video, I mentioned that I have a trackable, and I've had this trackable for many, many years, and I'm thinking today is the day to pass it on. And that trackable is this little guy here. And so I'm going to go to the geocaching website. Or maybe I'm not. There we go. So this trackable was released on Sunday the 22nd of July 2012 in Tasmania, Australia. And you know what? I'm actually not going to put it in here. I'm going to do a bit more research on so it's trying to get to the Aperture Science Enrichment Center. It also has a battery, or should have a battery in it, that lights up its little thing in here. What I'm going to do, I might tag it on some of these caches, but I'm not going to leave it here, and I'm going to go home and I'm going to open it up and I'm going to put a new battery in it. And then I'm going to apologize for holding it for multiple years, and I'm going to try and actually do some research and get it closer to its goal. And I do feel genuinely terrible because it's been sitting in my pockets and drawers and stuff, and it's ridiculous that I've not passed it on and played the game as it should be. And I feel bad that the person that put it out there in the first place, didn't get to, hasn't seen it continue on to its proper location. So, it is the 20th of the 11th. Done. I think there's I was going to say that could be a mascara brush. I genuinely feel like people have just used this as trash, or as a trash bag, and I don't like that. I'm not perfect, obviously. I've kept that trackable, but okay. Back down to the pack to sign the official online log and have our first sit-down break of the day. So I just did some reading of the Travel Bug weekly. This little guy, and I thought it was one of the space pods from 2001, but it's something different. And apparently I wrote when I found it that it was voiced by Stephen Merchant. So I'm going to look into exactly what Wheatley is. It turns out that the place that they wanted it originally to go to is in the United States. So I think what's happened is I've picked it up whilst my friend Robin and I were caching near the airport, and I've held on to it and forgotten. So I'm going to fix it up, I'm going to give it a clean, I'm going to redo the battery, and then I'm going to take it to the airport and put it in a cache via the airport. That is going to be a mission, a plan, a trip, and cool part of me. Given that the airport is at least 50, maybe 60 kilometres away from me, a 2-hour drive kind of situation, that is going to be a big adventure, and we're going to get that done because it deserves it, because I have not treated it well. Very disappointed in myself. But that's what we do. We fix things. You make a mistake, you fix it. So I'm going to try and fix it as best I can. So on the way up to the cache, which is that way, I walked down below these bits of rock. Cliff. I don't know whether you call it a cliff necessarily from the other side. Anyway, and just looking at this is fantastic. Because of the sun, the brightness of all this greenery, I really do need to improve my plant knowledge as to what some of these plants are. And then even just the colours of the water are fantastic. That real aqua greeny blue colour. And then of course, I don't know about anyone else, especially international viewers, but that's Australian. To me, that just screams Australia. And the interesting thing is, I thought straight out that way was nothing but ocean. So down there, you can see the rest of the peninsula goes right down to the end, about there, I think. But then it looks like through the cloud and the fog, there's something else over there. Again, without having a specific map, although I just realised I do have a much seldomly used compass right here, which is telling me that north, so north is that way. And you know what, that doesn't actually help me without a map. If I had a proper map of the place, I sort of roughly knew that was north, but if I had a proper map of the place, I'd have a better idea of how far round the peninsula actually goes down there. But that's I don't know how unique that is to Australia, but to me that just screams Australia. And I've gotten myself onto a somewhat non-existent path here, although you can see where it goes through here. I've been daydreaming a lot this year about hitting the road and just travelling instead of worrying about paying rent. Based on what I assume is a sign there and those roped off bits, I'm assuming that they're trying to rejuvenate this section. So even though the path sort of goes that way, I'm going to come back round and I can see sort of another path that comes down here. And today has really made me think more about how I want to do that. So the goal is to make hiking, camping, geocaching videos like this and make enough money off
YouTube to live a very minimal life on the road. Minimal being the main word. I don't want to be rich on the road. I want to be poor on the road, pretty much. So yeah, just a thought. And today, climbing or hiking along here has just got me thinking more and more about that, because this is just beautiful. The sign, this is a sign that looks the same as that other sign, but it's not the actual same sign. And it just says chicks on the beach, stay out of reach. And I saw a couple of those birds before. They were running along the beach, and they were moving way too quick for me to get the camera out. And they were very small, just doing lots of little steps. So yeah, obviously it's a rejuvenation slash leave the bird life alone kind of thing, which especially native species, you absolutely just always want to leave the animals alone. Watch them from a distance, which further reminds me how I really want to get some binoculars so that I can watch the birds and the animals from a distance.
So that was Geocaching 16 Part 2. Part 3 obviously coming up next episode of the Bobby Freakout vlog hour, I don't know. And then of course Part 4, and then the whole thing will be out on the Geocaching podcast feed, channel, whatever it is, playlist, whatever you want to call it, on the YouTube. So this park I absolutely love because there are so many sections like the one that I'm sitting at right now. Hey yo. So one dog is getting really affectionate towards me. The other dog, let me just turn you around. The other dog has decided to dig a hole in the dirt and get nice and dirty, which combined with a bit of rain means that she's now going to be muddy. So that's great. Might have to do a bath. Oh my god. She just got up and her paws are covered in dirt, so we're going to have to do maybe do a bath when we get home, or a good towel down anyway. So this park's got lots of great little spots where I can go and sit and film little things like this and just pretend that I'm out in the woods and out in the bushes. And it's great because it's almost... You right? So you want to cuddle and a kiss too? Oh great. Her dirty paws are now all over my pants. Anyway... And you can sit here and wonderfully people walk past and they don't even notice you're here. It's great. Makes you feel like you're really isolated and away from everything. But one of the things I like to do is to come here and cook a little food. So here is a segment of me cooking a little food, doing a little review, and having a good old time. So, today we're going to make a meal. In the last pod, in the first episode of the new vlog, Bobby Freakout Hour, long-term fan of the show, Manol, posted saying he was expecting or wanting a review of the food that I cooked. There's nothing here for you. You've already had breakfast. And he posted was expecting a food review. So I thought today we're going to cook a little egg and onion sandwich. Now, can I trust you with this? These are from work, and I got given a whole heap of them, and I gave these two some of it. and because it's got like a little sugar content to it, it's actually quite nice by itself. But now they want some, so I have to protect it. No, go away. Sorry, I've created a monster with you guys. And so he said he wanted a review, so I thought that's a new segment for the show. So I'm going to cook up a couple of eggs, some onions, and I'm going to do it over fire, and then we're going to put it in the roll, and we've got some barbecue sauce. So it's going to be egg, onion, barbecue sauce in a roll. I've got pork fat for the oil for the onions, to slow cook the onions. So that's what we're doing. And then we'll do a little review as to whether I cooked it decently or not at the end. So I'm going to set up the stove and everything, and then we'll start cooking. So I am far from an expert any of the kind of bushcrafting stuff that I do. Heterohelix or hetero something else. I can never remember which one, Boston ivy or English ivy, is the one that stays green all the time. I think it's English ivy that stays green all the time, which is what this is. And it's everywhere around here. So pulling it up and throwing it is actually doing a positive thing, because it is a invasive weed. And it's really nice across the floor of the forest here, but it's not a bad thing to be picking it up. So yeah, I'm an absolute amateur, and I've got a lighter, I've got stuff to start fires, like cotton wool and stuff with me. But what I'm going to try and do is use bark, and then I've got a bunch of twigs. Again, my theory is if I have a controlled small fire here, using twigs like that from the floor of this area is actually getting rid of potential fire problems, hazards, and is not a bad thing. Hello. Actually, I want to keep that intact. I'm going to use this. I gave up. I just used the Bic lighter that I've got in my little fire kit as well, instead. So everything's going absolutely great. Cooking's going well. Still got a decent amount of coffee. I've got a little thermos of coffee to go. I couldn't be bothered doing coffee today because it takes that extra bit of effort. You just got to cook up something else, and when you've only got the one flame, it's kind of good to just focus on the food. The problem is I forgot cheese, so I'm not going to have any cheese in my burger, which is a bit disappointing. But there are worse things in the world. One thing I did forget to bring was a way of cutting my roll in half. So we're going to experiment with the bushcraft knife. Now, unfortunately, the bushcraft knife just had some ferro rod on it, so it's not the cleanest. And in fact, the whole thing could do with a bit of clean. I see some bushcraft videos and stuff where they'll be using their bushcraft knife to cut their food, And I'm just like, that feels a bit wrong. I love bringing these two here because they get to forage around and sniff and thing, and they get excited, and it's like a playground for them. It's great. So, get away from the roll. It's my roll. You can have a roll when we get home. So we're going to see how this goes. Oh, it's cutting quite nicely. Well, this is going to work perfectly. Little twist to finish it off, and there you go. That is, I don't know if you can see how that's perfectly acceptable. We're almost there. The onions have got a very nice dark colour to them, nicely slow cooked, and the bun's practically ready. So the eggs will be going in soon. Then we'll try and toast up the buns a little bit, and we'll be pretty much done. I am so gutted that I don't have cheese, and I really would have liked to have bought bacon as well. A bacon, onion, scrambled eggs, bacon and onion with cheese and a little barbecue sauce in a roll. Mwah, perfect. Get away from the roll. You can sniff other things, but get away from the roll. You want to come in, do you? Can I come here? Can I come here? It's not a good lap, but anyway. Yeah, scrambled eggs, bacon and an onion in a roll is like a perfect little snack meal. You can't go wrong with that. There are a little black pudding in there as well, and mushrooms. Oh, throw some mushrooms in there. One day I'll do a full one instead of a half-assed one like this one. Okay, it is time to add the eggs. I am not an expert. I don't even play one on TV, and I seem to have gotten... That's a twig. Very small little twig, but that's a twig. It's not that unique of a pot. I'm sure there are many out there like it, but this is mine. Oh, come on, come on, there you go. This is one of the reasons I like the this kind of cooking, is that I just throw everything into the pot at different times and just mush it all up. And eventually I get a very yummy breakfast. It's a very easy breakfast to go with. And I probably should have the heat a little bit higher now for the eggs. Anyway, that's cooking along nicely. Probably be eating it next time I turn the camera on. You can see dogs in the background. Is that a good thing? I don't know. I think it's a good thing, because more dogs the better. Isn't that right? Yeah? Do we want to get another dog for our group? Their fur, the best antidepressant ever. Anyway, the eggs are done. So now it's a matter of holding the buns over the fire. Ow! Hold the buns over the fire, but don't get your fingers burnt. Saying. Want some barbecue sauce? Okay, kisses instead of barbecue sauce. That's a compliment. This one has a smoky nature to it. Plus also barbecue sauce has probably got onion and garlic and stuff in it, which dogs aren't meant to have. It's okay if they have like a tiny little piece, but definitely don't want them thinking that it's a good option for them. And, oh, I've already lost one a little bit off on the side there. Oh man, I am so disappointed that I didn't bring cheese. And if I was camping and didn't have the roll with me, I'd eat it straight from here. Which again is one of my favourite things about cooking like this. And I'm not going to put any more on there, because I don't want it to fall off. That's pretty good. Yeah, when you go camping and you just you eat out of the container that you had, it's a lot of barbecue sauce. That is a lot. And you eat out of the same container you cooked out of. It's fantastic. Speaking of which, I think I'm going to need to put that there so that I can eat over the top of it. My foot is going numb. So I'm going to... Oh, I've dropped it already. Okay. And I'm in a terrible physical spot for... Sorry, you're actually making it worse for this review. So they can do that. And here we go. Again. I keep dropping bits into my hands as I'm holding the bone. The cheese would have helped it all stick together, and I think I've done too much barbecue sauce. I hope this looks as awkward on camera as it feels. Oh my god. It's just dropping everywhere. It's and it's too much barbecue sauce. The real the sweetness of the barbecue sauce is almost too much. I feel like cheese would have sort of mellowed that out a little bit. And the barbecue sauce combined with the fact that I didn't overcook the eggs, they were still quite soft. Has meant that it's quite a runny, like a sloppy Joe variety of bun and burger. Yeah. I think this is going to be the best way to eat this. Yeah, there you go. The barbecue sauce on the bun was absolutely overpowering everything. It's all I could taste. So I screwed that up with way too much barbecue sauce. Whereas with this, it's mostly caramelized onion, which I don't know about you, but I like. That is a nice... The sugars that come out from the caramelization process, they taste fantastic. And you don't need to do anything. That's the thing I like, is you can just slow cook them. Get a little fire, and just time. Yeah, that is definitely, didn't need the bun, didn't need the barbecue sauce. Which is my normal thing for camping. If I do go camping and it's only a 1 or 2 night and I can take eggs, this is my breakfast. I am a believer in the fat and protein powerhouse of an egg. And yeah, that was fantastic. That was nice. It always annoys me. Most cooking takes a lot more effort than, or a lot more time and effort than the eating. And that ratio I never enjoy. I'm going to sit back and enjoy just sitting back and relaxing now. Finish my coffee. Finish a podcast. And then we'll pack up and we'll head off. Many years ago, I thought to myself, you know what, I reckon I'd really like being a talk show host and having a variety show of some kind. And that's part of the reason why I'm doing the Freakout Hour in vlog style now, where it's going to be a real variety of different stuff. One of those things is that I want to include some music in it. And I've got an idea for a podcast where I go to rehearsal rooms of musicians or bands, and I'm hoping that I can eventually do that and then include that. But for this week, I'm going to include some old footage that I found of my old band that I was in, that I was lucky enough to be in, I'm going to say, because I learnt a lot because of that band and because of those 3 wonderful people that I was with. Hold on 1 second. Sorry about that, a person just walked past and I wanted to keep an eye on the dogs as well as not draw attention to myself by talking. And luckily they just did not notice me at all. Which again, I don't think I'm that, I'm not obvious up here, but I'm also I'm not in camo or anything. But this wonderful band that I was in, the Scowlers, the 3 people in that band made me feel educated me, just in terms of interacting with people. And I look back on that time very fondly as a goods and bads, all the different things in there. They allowed me to be creative. I was able to, be really weird and do weird things and stuff like that. But I never... Why are you so... Do you want so many pats right now? But I never really took full advantage in terms of getting the most out of it that I could have. I was a bit dicky and a bit snobby, I think, when I look back on it. And maybe not even perceptively to other people. Maybe it was just in my head when I look back that I had that way. But I found some footage that a friend of a friend had shot, and then a friend sent it to me and stuff. So I'm going to include some of that here. I'll be honest with you, it wasn't our best gig. We played much better gigs. It wasn't great. One positive, in a selfish kind of way, I really like the tone of my guitar in this clip and some of the playing that I did. But on average, wasn't the best gig, wasn't the best performance. But I think every band has to have that at some point. And if I'd been a bit more sensible, I probably could have kept going with them and we could have gotten somewhere. But it was an absolute highlight of my life, I'll be honest. So here it is, the Scowlers at the Tote.
Yeah.
And that is the Bobby Freakout Hour number 2 for this week, this month, whatever. I'm trying to get these out as quickly as I can, but at the same time I'm still learning, I'm still building, so they're taking a little bit longer than I would have liked. So I'm not going to say week, even though eventually I'd like it to be weekly. I would genuinely like a comment and a like and a thing. What could be better? What could be worse? What did you like? What did you not like? All that kind of stuff. Feedback is what really helps these kind of channels, I believe. And I always try and give good feedback when I can. If you like some of the editing, tell me. If you didn't like some of the editing, tell me. If it was too long, too short, all those things. If you've made it this far, though, you probably should have given it a like and a subscribe so far, shouldn't you? Who watches all the way to the end of an hour video? I don't know. I don't. Yeah, I make them, but I don't do them. So maybe I should go to shorter videos and not have as many segments. We'll see. But anyway, that was number 2 in the series. Check out the Game of Thrones reaction videos that I'm doing. They're a bit different because I'm not going to bother with the having the image on screen. I'm just going to make it so that you watch the show by yourself and then put that on as a podcast in your ear whilst you're watching it. That's the goal I'm going to do. They're called Unwanted Easter Eggs. They're on the channel. They're out there somewhere. Game of Thrones 1 and 2 so far. I'm going to go home and watch 3 soon. Well, probably today because it's really cold, so it seems fitting. Anyway, thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.